Trader Joe's strawberry shortcake sandwich cookies. Nah, man, that's whack. Give me a chocolate-covered pretzel from Trader Joe's. Those are 10 out of 10.
On its way! Hello and welcome to another episode of Hardly Working, the best show here, there, or anywhere all across the country, nay, the world, nay, the entire galaxy. It's the show about life, love, and labor, hosted by the couple that works, plays, and stays together. It's a big intro because it's been a big week, but I'm one of your co-hosts. I'm SP.
And I'm Kelly. Are you trying to one-up me in your intros?
Look,
I was all prepared to say that I'm the Disney queen because it's been a week full of Disney. And then I was like, what's this intro?
I just have so much energy to give. We had a chill show last week, which means I'm doubling up and doubling down. I've got the energy to shake
you
the
all
tree.
about it.
That's right. I've got the spark. Do you think you can stop what we do? I doubt it. No. I've got the energy, and I'll tell you all about it. Hi, babe.
Hi, babe. Thanks, host SP. But I'm Kelly. I'm the Disney queen this week.
If you know what I mean.
Because I just spent 2 days at Disneyland, a day at D23.
Hundreds, if not millions of dollars.
Spent on all Disney gear, including churros. For my main squeeze, that's you.
That's true.
It's been a fun week. I'm not going to lie. I've had an amazing time. I've had a blast. I've had so much fun. Our daughter rode on 2 new rides. I got to see D23. I got some free pins from there. It's been so fun.
And if you think
worked.
that is where we're going to stop, no. That's not the level of detail we give you on these shows. We give you every excruciating detail from week to week of what our life's been like. But those are the big things. I was at D23 for what feels like an eternity in the best way possible because I was very happy, very grateful. We'll get into it in a second. But before that, we went down on Wednesday, the fam bam, me, Kelly, and B, to Disneyland, and it was great. It was fun. It was fine. I had a good time, but it was a little bit of an interesting day. We don't have to get into all the details. But, you know, when you have a person in the relationship, say a wife, who spoils you, and let's just say your daughter with fast passes all the time. Sometimes your daughter might be like, wait in a line for an hour. Oh, boy.
It was pretty rough. She was having a difficult time.
It was a lot, but we hit a lot of fun stuff.
We had a much better day the second day we were there.
Yeah. What was the difference between the first and second day? What changed?
Genie fast passes.
And I wasn't there.
Lanes.
It
Yeah,
really
you
was
weren't
that
there.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, she rallies more when it's just the two of us. Because I'm like, we're just going to do it. Let's go. Don't be a big deal. We're going to do this. Let's go. You want a snack? Let's get a snack. We do all the fun things. Not that you don't do the fun things, but we can both be passenger princesses when you're there. Because we have someone who's going to take care.
Except you get stuff done. When we're at Disney proper, you're not a passenger princess.
No,
you're
I'm the
leading
leader.
the caravan, girl.
I am the leader of the pack. Yeah, but I do normally get us Genie passes. We were just going for kind of a half day that first day and later in the day, and I didn't feel like...
Was it really a half day that first day?
It
felt like
wasn't. It was like 7
day.
hours, but we were going later in the day, and normally the fast passes get used up by then, so I didn't buy them for us.
We did get one to Cars, and that was worth it.
Yeah, Cars and Star Wars, which is like 2 fast passes in and of itself. Like
Cars
2 Genie passes. It was
and Car
lot.
Wars.
We spent a lot of money. Hire us, somebody,
Yep.
please. Just kidding.
I will tell you, one of the secrets of a happy marriage is make enough money so that when your partner wants to go to Disneyland and wants to buy a bunch of stuff, you just trust them and also tell them, make sure you pay off the credit card before I see it. I really think...
Done and done.
I think that's why we have a good marriage.
It's okay.
Is because while I was working my booty off,
Yeah,
in D23,
I was spending all the money you were making.
Yep, it's like I can't bring it in fast enough.
Yeah, it's not
just
true.
In one account, out the other.
I didn't spend all the money. Let's be real. We did have a good time. Brooklyn and I had a blast of a week. We loved that we got to be there down there with you, because if not, we would have just been here missing you, and you would have only been like an hour away.
It was great to have you there, except, look, everyone in this family knows that I snore. Did you know I was going to say that?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I don't care that you
It was
snore.
the first time that I was a little sensitive about it.
Yeah, he was tired. When he's tired, he snores more because he has a harder time sleeping. And Brooklyn,
And girl, I just been congested too.
yeah. But when you're tired, like when you're really, really tired, I will eat them. Stop. He's hitting my chocolate covered pretzels.
Go ahead.
Anyways, when you're tired,
Yeah.
you do snore louder than normal. And we talk about this a lot. I probably never talked about this on the podcast, but you and I have. But when you have a very particular snore, it's the only one of its kind.
Oh, I
That-
know.
that
and
truly-
Danielle told us it sent her, it triggered her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But that wasn't quite the snore that you were doing. The problem is that Brooklyn, our daughter, doesn't sleep in the same room as us.
What?
Nor can she hear you when you snore normally. And so for us to stay in the cool hotel room that we stayed in, that had bunk beds for her, which was super cool.
We had 4 beds in that
We had
hotel.
4 beds, 2 bunk beds and 2 queens beds.
As Corey says, at the Ivy.
Yeah.
It's called the Viv, but
The
he called
Viv.
it the Ivy
That's
in front
fine.
of 12,000 people.
It's okay. But she was not having the snoring.
No.
And she was like half sleeping and half awake and was like really having a tough time. And I, being just the helper that I am,
You are a relentless
was just awake trying to make sure everyone was okay. And so I would kind of shake Pat a little bit to wake him up, shake SP to be like, hey, which is like, it's not mean, but like it is mean to wake someone up when they're sleeping.
Yeah,
And I'm like
it's
trying not
really
to wake
mean.
him up. Oh, I have to wake him up to get him to stop snoring because my daughter's like screaming in her mouth because she's like so annoyed and
Okay,
she can't
that's a
sleep.
weird phrase. What does
I know.
screaming in
It's like-
her mouth mean?
I can't do it.
That was pretty close.
But it's like
frightening.
it's like literally screaming. It's like if you screamed into a pillow, that's the sound that she makes with her mouth closed. And I could hear that because I was in the middle of the two of them. I was
But
like,
she
this
was legit asleep.
yeah, I'd be like, it's okay, and she like would just keep doing the same thing, keep screaming with her mouth closed. Anywho, that was night 1. Night 2 was much better.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Probably because we were all really tired.
Let me just give a quick review of the Viv. The Viv apparently is like a new hotel that used to exist, but it is now the Viv. It is literally right off the freeway at Disney Way. Like,
New hotel used to exist. Now the Viv.
well, I mean, I've seen it when I've driven by.
an
but
old
it wasn't
hotel.
called the Viv. Yeah.
That's now been rebranded as the Viv.
Yeah. In the last like year. Mm-hmm. And it was nice. I have pretty much no complaints. It was great. I had a great time. But I don't think I've said this to you before, but similar to when we moved back into our place with the new floors and everything was just so much louder because there wasn't a bunch of carpet to dampen the sound. That's what the Viv was to me. Was every sound was so loud.
Sorry, you're just sensitive.
But wouldn't you agree? Because none of us, the 3 of us, none of us had a good night's sleep there ever.
Yeah,
and
mine-
we were there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Mine wasn't because of the sound, though. I mean, the sound of both of you having a tough time,
Yeah.
but mine is just the comfortability of the bed. My back started to hurt.
I didn't think the bed was bad until we got home on Sunday and we were like,
This was our bed, yeah.
this is our bed.
But anywho,
Yeah.
that was our stay at the Viv. But we did 2 days at Disneyland. Brooklyn and I did the second day by herself. She went on the Matterhorn for the first time,
Oh, that was a
which she
mistake.
both hated and loved. And I quickly remembered why I don't stand in a 75-minute line ever to go on that ride. Because
Why would you?
She wanted to go on it.
Yes,
And
I
she was
understand why
ready.
you did, but who wants to stand in a 75-minute line?
Apparently, your
Did
girl.
you know it only has to be 74 minutes to be considered a feature film? So you want to stand in line for just barely longer than a feature film
Yeah.
to go on the Matterhorn?
Yeah, I did get fast passes and the ride shut down for 2 hours. And so I asked Brooklyn if she wanted to hold the fast passes or go on something different. So we went on something different because you can use your fast pass towards anything else. And so we did. But then she really wanted to go on it. And I could tell that she was disappointed that the line was so long and she was going to be disappointed if she didn't go on it. Mm-hmm. And so we did. And let me tell you, quickly reminded why I never need to go on the Matterhorn again.
It hurts.
And why every adult probably needs to see a chiropractor after going on that ride. I was like,
she
this,
said she hit her head.
I had to lean down and tell her, hey, like keep your head back and like know that that's padded up in the top, but like really hold on. So I had forgotten like how just not smooth it is
Herky
compared to all
jerky.
of the other smooth rides that they have. Like the new ride they have at Disneyland that they do have at Disney World called Mickey and Minnie's Railway.
Oh, snap. This is not a Disney podcast. You got to go to Disney Dose for that. But it's worth mentioning one of our favorite rides in Orlando came
Yeah.
to Los Angeles, and we didn't even, Anaheim, and we didn't even know
And
it.
it's so great. And she loved it. We went on it
What's
3
it
times.
called? Mickey and Minnie's
Railway.
Railway
There might be more to that.
Adventure,
Again,
something like that. It's in Toontown. It's
we're
freaking
not
great.
a Disney podcast. I don't know.
No, yeah, so we don't need to know,
But
but
it's
it was
in Toontown.
great.
It was great.
really
You should go on it. 10 10 would recommend. And yeah. So that was our time at Disney.
Now, you might be wondering, why in the world are they talking so much about Disney? Well, it's because so much of my life has been revolving around that wonderful mouse, Mickey, and everything that has to do with him. Last week, we talked about San Diego Comic-Con, where I was down there with Marvel, period. Because it's no longer Marvel Studios.
Just all of Marvel.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
Just Marvel. This week, I was not there. Even though I have been a part of D23 since its inception in 2017, I've been the host of the Marvel Studios booth out there. This time, they decided to go a different direction. We'll talk about what it was like later, but they did a TVA experience where
They
you
did.
walk through.
It was pretty legit.
We'll talk about it, but I wasn't there because they didn't need a host. There was no talent signings. There was no artist conversations. There was none of the stuff we talked about.
They did that at
Nothing.
Comic-Con.
Yeah, and that was 2 weeks before. I was so grateful for Corey and Tara and my friends for bringing us in, because what they did this year was they did all the normal convention stuff in the Anaheim Convention Center all during the day, and then at night, those were the big shows, and they did those over at the Honda Center, just about 5-10 minutes down the road, and that is what I was a part of. It was me, my buddy Corey was hosting, me and Kibo were DJing.
Happy late birthday.
Happy late birthday, Kibo. Sasha and Sky were part of the hype crew, and they were out in the audience. We had 12,000 people or 15,000, I don't remember. Whatever fits in the Honda Center, filling it out, and we got to do the show before the show. Kibo and I DJ'd for an hour, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then we brought out the hype crew. We did another full hour of giveaways, trivia, fashion shows, finished the lyrics, so much stuff. But it's been I think since COVID, like before COVID, it's been that long since I've done a show in an arena. And it's really cool when you just see from top to bottom thousands and thousands of people in there being excited. It was awesome. Let me give you a little rundown of the stuff that I was excited about. The first night was a lot of the studio presentations. I'll tell you this right now. We didn't stick around for a lot of the presentations. We saw parts of them, but you can find out what happened there. But it was cool. Got to see Kevin Feige from Marvel Studios. We talked about that last week. Saw him again. It was great. I was, oh my gosh, I have to tell this story.
I was going to tell it if you weren't going to.
So I was on stage for like 2 full hours, and I'm the type of person that once I get off stage, I'm not like making eye contact with people, especially because like stuff like this, you're surrounded by big wigs and celebrities and all that stuff. I kind of keep my head down and move around.
You're just trying to get out of the way.
Totally. So I get off stage, I'm maneuvering backstage, I'm not really making eye contact, any of that stuff. Kibo comes up to me, he's like, "Bro, you just swerved right past The Rock." I was like, "What? The Rock?
Dwayne The Rock.
Are you serious?" And I look, and there he is, this mountain of a man. And I don't get starstruck ever, and I frankly wasn't starstruck by The Rock, but this somehow was the first time I was in the same room with The Rock, and I was happy to be there. And I was like, I got to tell Kelly. And I'm like, I text Kelly, I was like, "Kel, I'm 10 feet away from The Rock," and I sent her this photo. She's like,
Where is he?
"Where is The Rock?"
He's like, "I'm 10 feet away." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's so cool." And normally when he sends me photos, you know, he's like, it's like a good photo. He's zoomed in, or like I see it exactly. Like,
This
I'm
was
like,
a
"Oh yeah, I
sneaky
see
peeky.
it." The Rock's not a small dude.
No.
He's a big guy. And he sends me this photo, and I'm like, "Where is he? Where the heck is The Rock? What is this?" All the way in the back of the photo. The very back of the photo. And finally see the bald man. I'm like, "Oh, there he is. There he is. There he is. There he is."
I may have
Like
exaggerated.
through a doorway.
Yeah.
On the stage. I'm like, "Oh, there, found him."
2 levels below me.
Yeah.
Across the arena. Yeah, I may have exaggerated how close I was at that very moment.
But it's totally fine. For some reason in my mind, I also thought he'd be smiling like at the camera in that photo. Like you
No.
had taken a photo with
No.
him. That was, I know better.
Yeah,
then no.
yeah.
But for some
Everyone who
reason,
listens
I
to
was
this
like,
knows that I don't like ask for photos from talent.
Although you did get a photo with Yvette Nicole Brown.
I did.
Because she
Yvette
jumped
Nicole
in.
Brown.
Yeah.
So I was with my girl Ramona, who I love. Shout out to Ramona. We both love her so much. She's so wonderful. And she and I got a photo backstage. And Yvette Nicole Brown was the host for that first day. And she was like, "Let me get in this." And I was like, "Kibo, get over here." And we took a photo of the four of us. And she's lovely. I've worked with her before. I think it was maybe Turning Red that I worked with her. She does a lot of Disney stuff. Also, if you're interested in any of the photos and videos that we talk about on the podcast, we're going to put them up on Instagram. We'll be like, hey, here's all the visuals you need from the show.
For maybe that picture of The Rock. Well, you can do it.
Yeah, I probably won't post the picture of The Rock. But me and Yvette Nicole Brown will be up there.
For sure.
You'll see that one. And if you're wondering what the heck that is, you can follow us on Instagram or TikTok at It's Hardly Working. But anyway, yes, I did get a photo with Yvette. She was lovely. But back to The Rock. Apparently, I swerved right behind him. I was like, skirt, skirt, right behind him.
Everyone else said hi to
It
him.
was like in front of him. Not everybody, but I missed it, and it was fine. But that night was star-studded. Jon Favreau was back there with me.
Yeah.
Vanessa Hudgens was back there.
Ish.
Got a little crush on Vanessa Hudge, but I didn't get to see her. Well, I didn't
Sorry.
get to interact with her.
Yeah.
So you and I are safe for another 2 years until next Disney.
I know. She told the people on the other side, good job, though. I do know that.
They said she had a twinkle in her eye. She seems like a real pro.
Yeah, she is.
Lots and lots of cool people there. James Cameron was there. So many people. Anyway, so didn't meet The Rock. Accidentally navigated around him like I was Pluto, just in his gravitational pull.
Sounds right. I did think it was hysterical that he had so many bodyguards and that they were all smaller than him. It's like, how does that work?
And The Rock, I don't know how tall he is, but Kibo said he's slightly smaller than Kibo. But he's
Kibo's
he's very tall. He's got a presence, an aura that is
sure.
like, and here's the cool thing. I was talking to Sasha about it, and she was like, I went up and I looked at The Rock, and he was about to go on stage. I think it was for Moana 2. And he was doing he's kind of like, she did these like little waving her hands in the air, kind of back and forth, up, down, kind of like a composer, right? But it was to say like he was getting in the zone. He was trying to center himself. And we had just driven over there, and I was talking to the crew. And I was like, something happened during COVID where I'm not nervous to take the stage, but there's just so much like anxiety that goes into it that I didn't have before COVID. And then to see / hear rather The Rock still like center himself before he goes out there was so encouraging to me. And it's weird though, because like there was never a single second that I was nervous when I was in the arena backstage going on stage. Like I have nothing that bothers me there. And I feel very fortunate. But you know, like you can probably speak to this, you know, that hour before I leave for the gig, it's like, you might as well not even say anything to me. Because I'm just like, there's something happening, in my head that I'm working through.
Yeah, and it's when I have like a million questions.
Yeah, exactly.
None of those going to get answered.
Did you get Brooklyn school supplies?
And then some.
Yeah, we did that. But anyway, that was night one. It was a lot of fun. The trending theme for us, we did the pre-show, like I said. The trending theme was, we have what's called an IFB. Basically, if you can think of like a security guard that has like a in-ear piece, or a earpiece in their ear. That's what an IFB is. So people in production can talk to us. Oh my gosh. It's like, hey, 2 minutes to showtime. We're like, let's go. We're doing the thing. And then they're like, pause, hold, do not send. They're not ready. We need 20 more minutes every day. And shout out to Brendan, who like was our comms guy and talking to us. But boy, every single day was like, hurry up and wait. No, don't go. Get them pumped up. Get ready to send. So-and-so's not here yet. It's just live events.
Stop the wave now. You've done it. Stop it. Stop it.
Stop the wave. Continue the wave. We need you to stall. That's just live events. And for anyone who wants to be a part of live events, you need to know that things get crazy. There's no such thing as an easy gig.
Nor.
Like, you got to learn how to stall and interact with people.
Yeesh.
Whether it's 50 people or 12,000 people, it is all the same. But it was a frickin' blast. Anthony Mackie was there, and as well as the other people.
Jamie
The second
McCurdy.
day,
Oh.
well, that was third day. Second day was parks. Didn't have a tremendous amount of people there because it was talking about the parks. But the third day, sorry if you're a parks person, the third day was the Legends night. So we got to do our whole spiel. We got to bring out Ryan frickin' Seacrest which is cool. That's the first time I've worked with him or been in the same room. I saw our friend Derek Huff, whose wedding you did.
I'm still surprised you didn't say hi to him.
I'm not a say hi kind of person.
I know.
This is not me. Harrison Ford was there. Jamie Lee Curtis, Angela Bassett, Steve Ditko. I think that's it. I think it's Steve Ditko. So many people getting inducted to the Legends Hall of Fame on the third day. It was an absolute blast. But my highlight may have been you and I going into D23 proper.
Yeah, it was fun. It's nice to be able to go for the first time ever.
First, I know I've done so many of these conferences and conventions. This is the first time you've ever gotten to step foot on one, with or without me.
Yeah, and it was a quick trip. We only had like an hour and a half, 2 hours tops to go before you had to get going too. But it was really cool. I got to go and we went. You talked about the TVA walkthrough earlier.
A little
with
bit.
Your Marvel fan bam.
A little preview.
And that was cool. We went and we got in the line. He was like, "Oh, I see my friend Christy,
yeah. And she had DM'd me. She was like, "Hey, are you going to be around today? Like, we'd love to see you at the booth." And I was like, "Yeah, we're going to try to stop by." Walked up there as soon as doors opened, or as you call it, rope dropped. Never
that's a Disneyland thing. Rope drop.
Rope dropped. Went in there, saw her. It was cool. Saw my friend Andy Park.
Yeah, I got to meet Andy Park for the first time, which was cool.
Great guy. And then we got to go into the TVA experience.
Which you then... I'm sure it would have been a different experience had you not known every single person that was in there. Because boy, were they trying so hard to stay in character, and boy, was it not possible with you. It's
you got to
totally
describe
cool.
what was happening though, so people know.
Well, so you're walking through as if you're a part of the TVA, right? You walk into the first room, everything is decked out to look exactly like it. It's great. Miss Minutes comes on the screen. She's talking to you about what you're going to do, all the stuff they have.
TVA being the time variant authority
from
Loki season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Some people don't know.
Well, they should. Anywho, you have like the soldiers that are there that are helping with that.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called.
I can't remember what their names are, even though I do love Loki.
Time cops, but it's
something
not
like that.
But they have these wands that will prune you.
Yeah, you can
out
be
of
pruned.
existence.
But they're all dressed like that. What I learned quite quickly was that all the people that were taking part in the role playing of these characters were all people that just work for Marvel.
Yep. They were all my friends.
All of SP's friends. And so we go, he's like, fist bumping people and all that stuff. We go into the second room where it's just a bunch of time doors, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And you like different, and the way they did it was really cool because you can like see different things in them. It's like a weird mirror that like lets you kind of see. And it was really, really cool. But he meets his friend Neil, and Neil's like, I'm not going to stay in character. Like, I love you, SB. Let's talk.
That's not what he said. He said,
didn't
won't ever break character ever. But we snagged him.
Yeah, they both. And then your friend Katie, who tried really hard not to break character, and then you made her laugh. But it was really fun to get to see them and get to meet them. And I know you had some inside jokes from Comic-Con, like, this is my wife. Maybe you've heard of her?
Yep.
Something like that. And so you got to do that, and they got to meet me. And I got to meet them because I've heard so much about them for so long. And so it was so nice. But it was a really cool experience. It ended sooner than I thought it was going to.
Yeah, I thought we were just getting started, but it turns out we were just ending.
That's probably because we were talking to people that we knew versus like being in it.
That's true.
But I liked the way we did it better.
It was good times.
But it was really, really fun. So that was really, really cool. Like Marvel goes all out every time, and it's really, I mean, Disney does, but it was so cool to do that. And then I got to take a picture with the TARDIS.
Not just that, but yes, the TARDIS was there from Doctor Who, but also.
And I got to be Taylor Swift for a second.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So many photos we'll put up on Instagram at It's Hardly Working. But you went to...
Only Murders in the Building, which I'm a huge fan of Only Murders in the Building. Like, so big.
I think you should tell us your thought on the experience. And also your thought as a business owner.
Not great. Could have been great. Wasn't great.
Hit me with it. Tell me the deets.
Here's the deal. They like build these really crazy cool things, which I think is like so cool.
Yeah.
It's
So
like,
tell me what the Only Murders one was.
it was like a facade of the apartment, the Arconia, which is the, it's not a hotel, which is the like apartment complex they live in.
Yeah.
So it was that, and you got to like walk through, and everything, like all of the decorations and all of the intentionality behind all that was amazing. You got to walk into the elevator, and the way, I didn't know this till we got in there, but it's basically a picture moment, right? So they have you take
It's a photo
It's a
op.
photo op.
Yeah.
So like the doors to the elevator open, there's a photo booth, and they take a picture of you, and they have like a video leading into it when you actually get your photo, and then like they have like Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez kind of peeking their heads out in it, and then you were in the photo too, right?
It's a cute idea.
It's a cute idea. And then they have like the kitchen of Steve Martin, which is like so cool to see, and his like Brazos script and like his egg omelet that he makes all the time, and like little nods to like Mabel and to all their characters, Selena's character and Martin Short's character and all that. So it was really, really cool. That part I really loved. I don't know if you know this, but I own a photo booth company.
You what?
So I can tell I have a hard time. I have very high expectations of myself. And so when I see other photo booths, especially at big conferences like this, I have pretty high expectations for what I expect the quality to be. If you're going to be asked to do this for a company as big as Marvel or Hulu or whatever, I'm like, I expect the quality to be like freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Because I know what my quality is. And so I'm like, dang, it just wasn't up to par with what I thought it was going to be. And so I was kind of disappointed. And then I went, why haven't I been asked? What am I doing wrong that I haven't been asked to be at D23? Mind you, I have no idea what they pay. I have no idea what the hours are. I have no idea about any of those things.
Yeah.
And I did have some thoughts about how they could have made the experience better. But I think that just comes with the territory when you own something and then you step foot into something. But I will say this, and this is pretty vulnerable, and I know it is. I tend to, and I know, I wouldn't consider myself a bitchy, but I would consider myself to be that way sometimes.
Sure.
I know that I have a bad attitude when it comes to other photo booths.
That is true. I do not agree that you could be bitchy sometimes, but I do agree that when it comes to being at an event with other photo booths or photo activations, you are still in the stage of your life / career where it's very easy to judge. As am I at times. When I see a host or a DJ, if I see a host who's hosting a whole event, it is very easy to be judgy.
Of course.
For me, if I see a DJ at an event, it's a little bit easier for me now to turn that off.
Yeah.
But yes, I definitely can tap into what you're feeling. And with the Only Murders in the Building experience, as well as I think about when we were at the Academy Award Museum, the Academy Museum with Ashley May and Jonathan, and they had a photo booth, you were a little judgy about it as well. I
am. I can tell I get more judgy when I know people involved in different things. I'm like, why didn't you ask me?
Sure.
I know that. But also specifically for D23 and Only Murders in the Building with Hulu, I waited in that line for a good majority of the time that we had to be in D23.
And we got there early. By the time we finished the experience, that line had at least tripled. If not quadrupled.
But I think we waited in that line for like 20 to 30, maybe longer minutes.
Essentially just to get a photo.
Yeah, a crappy photo. It was like a video. It wasn't a video, but but to get like truly, and I mean that, and I'm judgy, but to get like a crappy photo.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't very clear. We were pretty blurry. It just wasn't great. And so I would have rather had walked through that. I would have enjoyed that more.
Without a photo.
I know that's weird, but I feel like it took away from the experience because it just wasn't great.
I agree, except if you didn't own a photo booth activation company, you would have been happy to have a souvenir.
Yeah, but it's a good reminder for me that no one cares about the quality as much as I do.
And
except for maybe Troy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think some of us really care about it. But there's certain areas, places, and spaces that don't care about that quite as much. But you were very happy to get your pin.
Yes, that was the biggest thing for me, is that they had like the great pin hunt or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
At D23. Well, I did not collect all 8 pins. I did get an Only Murders in the Building pin, and I got yelled at for it, but also was very excited about it.
I didn't.
I know. I didn't realize.
Because I was charming. I was like, is this where I go to get my pin? And she was like, yeah.
She just didn't see you come from the other line. I didn't realize there were 2 separate lines for it. I thought that when you got in, like truly, honestly, that's what I thought the experience was. I thought you would walk through and see like the inside of the Arconian, experience that, and then you'd get your pin. So I was like, this is amazing. And then I find out as we're in line that no, there's another line for the pin. I was like, wait a second. I want the pin. Anyways, I got that pin. I got an Ariel pin from the new Ariel TV show on Disney Plus, which I liked and was excited about.
You've never seen it, but you like the pin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say this, in the same Hulu area, there was a section that gave me faith and restored my faith in humanity. There was a Keeping Up with the Kardashians activation.
Nobody was in it.
That nobody was going to.
There wasn't a clear line for it either.
Oh, but I was so happy because, ew. I was so happy that no one was standing in line for that.
It was dumb.
And this isn't a judgment on the activation itself for the people who put it on.
Oh, no.
Because it looked like it probably was a cool activation.
It looked legit.
It had like a DSLR camera that was moving.
Maybe
like on a crane.
like a glam
It looked really
photo.
cool. But like, let's just all move on from that family. Y'all know how we feel.
Anywho, so that was our experience D23 and Disney and all the things. It was great.
Yep. Shout out to the whole hype crew. Corey, Sasha, Sky, Kibo, me, all of our friends at Disney, Michelle, Ramona, James, and everybody in between. Thanks for bringing us in. It truly was an absolute blast. It was a magical time. And not to toot our own horn, but I really think that we did make it pretty amazing for people.
Definitely me.
Definitely you. But people in the crowd as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway.
My favorite part of the weekend was that we all went to Din Tai Fung on one of the nights.
Oh my gosh, Kelly.
And so that was really fun. I did. I went 2.5 hours early. You didn't say it, but I did. I went 2.5 hours early to put our names in at Din Tai Fung in downtown Disney. And I had a blast. I went and read a book at the Starbucks, and I bought myself some Legos as a reward.
And you know what? Because of you, we all had a blast. We were working. Kelly went down there to downtown Disney, put our name in 2.5 hours in advance, which meant the entire hype crew that I just listed and Kelly as well got to go and enjoy Din Tai Fung. Thank you so much, and shout out to Corey for paying for the dinner as a team dinner. That was small
Corey
amount
Rive.
of money. Corey Rive, we love you. And then we also got some shakes and treats at Black Tap.
Crazy Shakes.
What's it called? Black Tap?
Black Tap Crazy Shakes.
Yeah, we went over to, what was the ice cream place?
Salt and Straw.
And it was a crazy line, so we got some other stuff. It was a great time. Honestly, it was just so much fun to have you there and be interacting, especially just seeing you with Sasha and Sky and Kibo. You and Corey have always had such a great relationship, but like it was such a treat for me, in order to, I know we had one more day of show left, but it felt like such a perfect bow on the whole thing. So thanks for going early and doing that.
Of course.
And also give a shout out to the Legos you bought and built.
Oh yeah, I did buy 2 Legos. They introduced a new chrysanthemum Lego that comes in like a pot. Like you build a Lego pot.
Yep.
And I've been wanting it because all their Legos are just like out there with nothing to put in.
What do you mean?
There's no vase. There's nothing like that. This is the first collection that they've given them something to like sit in.
Oh,
and so
I see.
I was really excited about it because I want to put it on the shelves in our new bathroom. And so...
Our new bathroom.
Yeah, my new decorated and painted and redone bathroom.
Yeah.
So I bought that, and then I also bought the miniest Disney castle you could ever buy because I thought it'd be cute in Brooklyn's room. I thought she might want something like that.
Oh, that's cute.
For like Disneyland.
But you haven't finished building.
I haven't finished it. Maybe
it looks
tonight.
like it'll be maybe like a foot tall.
Yeah, it's so small. Anyway,
It's a small one. It's good times.
So those are my Legos that I bought for myself. I withheld from buying the like $100 and something Legos that I wanted because I was like, that feels insane.
Even that would be cheap versus some of them.
That's true. But
anyway, that was our week. Thanks for hanging and listening to all our shenanigans. Yeah. But it's time to jump into some stories. You ready?
Yeah, I have a story, but go for it.
I'm sorry. You can't just tell me you have
I
a
told
story.
you that I had a story before the show.
No.
But I want to hear
Sometimes you go, I've got a thing. I don't know what it is.
I said, I got a story. Today I said,
okay,
I got a
then
story.
you just interject with your story whenever you want.
Okay, you go.
Whenever you want.
Whenever you want.
First story. An airline now allows women to avoid sitting next to men. Here's how travelers are reacting. I kind of love this. Let me tell you why. This airline, which is in India, it's India's biggest airline, essentially, if you are a woman and you're going to pick your seat online, the seats that have been picked by other women are in pink.
Love it.
So you can know who you're sitting next to. When you are a man, you don't get to see the pink chairs.
Love it.
I do too. Because this is an issue that I've had for a while where I feel like if Uber and Lyft did something like this, I think it would be huge.
Yeah.
Because there's so many women just like you who would feel so much more comfortable and would probably, honestly, listen up, capitalists, pay more money to be like, I'm a woman and I would just like to have a woman driver.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to feel like I'm going to get hit on, threatened, assaulted, anything like that. This goes back to, remember that meme or whatever it was, like, women, if you could choose a man or a bear, like, what's more scary? And people are like, we pick the bear. Yeah. It's kind of like that. So I think this is awesome. I think anything we can do to protect women is a good thing.
It's coming at a really good time because I don't know that you've heard the most recent airline story that occurred.
I don't know. Tell me.
It's not going to make you happy. And I'll just give, I guess, trigger warning out there for anyone listening. I won't go too much into detail. Basically, there was a family that was traveling somewhere within the United States. I don't remember from where to where.
Okay.
But there was more than 3 of them.
All right.
And so they had to split up.
Sure.
And so, they're sitting right on the aisle or whatever, and their younger teenage daughter had to sit in another seat.
Okay.
And in the row that the daughter's in is a woman, her, and then a male. And this male on this flight decided that he was going to try to touch her, and so would like put his hand on her leg and stuff like that.
This is what we're talking about, people.
But it was a big deal. I never followed up at what
that's
happened.
Because that's assault.
But it happened twice. And so much so that the lady that was on the other side of the girl was sleeping, and she woke up and saw that he was like touching her and yelled at him, thank God for her.
Yeah.
But got like a stewardess, and then made the girl switch seats with her so she could sit in the middle. But they didn't do anything. They didn't move the guy. They didn't do anything. I'm sure he got arrested when they got off. But I was like, after all of that,
I'm not sure of that, but go ahead.
Well, but I was just like, that's a good thing. Like it can happen on a stinking plane when people are all over, like awake and all over the place. Do you know what I mean? Like
all these.
So
dudes,
I like this.
All these dudes who are like, oh, it's not fair. When you look at assault crimes in people who are touching or acting inappropriately, and you put the graph of men versus women, it is drastically men. Drastically higher, it's men.
And you can blame it on women all you want, on what we wear, what we look like, and all that stuff. But it's none of our faults. It's a choice you make.
You choose if you're
a male.
going to put your hand on someone's leg on an airplane.
Yeah, it was
unsolicited.
More than that. But
I mean, I haven't read the story. I'm just saying, like, the men are the problem.
100%.
And if you're listening to this, you're probably not one of the problems. You're probably awesome if you're a guy. If you're listening to this, judging by the comments on our TikTok, you're probably very in touch with your feminine side. You're probably very cool.
Yeah.
You're probably an ally and a protector of women. But I'm just saying, I'm for this. And I think more protections for people who are more likely to be taken advantage of by men, I'm in favor of it.
Yeah, I really like that they do that. I wonder how long they'll be able to do that for before people are like, that's just whatever. Who knows?
Yeah, it is a little tricky because
or blah, blah,
it's
blah,
weird
blah.
because there's a big push. Like, for instance, I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to really get into it, so I'll kind of speak in broad terms. The last couple of years, it's been important to many companies when we're on stage to not say things like ladies and gentlemen or he and she, because that's assuming genders, and which, frankly, it is very tricky in the profession that I have. That's not to say that I'm not willing, because we absolutely are, trying to make sure people are comfortable, confident, and feeling like they can be who they are. But it is tricky to be very, very, very gender sensitive, but then also try to put things in place for people like women or those who identify as women to be safe. Like, it's hard to straddle the line and do both.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know me, my heart is to protect women.
Yeah.
Because I do think that men tend to be the problem, if not always are the problem. Not all men, but men, if there's a problem, it's likely it was because of a dude.
Yep.
So I think it'll be tricky moving forward. But I saw that story and I was like, I got to tell Kelly. It was pretty good.
That's a good one. I like it.
Moving on to the next one. This was interesting, and it kind of feels like the dystopian future that 1984 was like telling us would happen. Women's insurance canceled after drone flies over her home.
Wait, what?
Yes. Essentially, this woman had been renovating her house for a while, for a couple of years. Apparently has spent hundreds of thousands of dollars renovating her kitchen, her backyard, all that kind of stuff. Look, we just went through a home renovation.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a messy process.
100%.
Her home insurance company sent a drone to fly over her house.
That feels like it's illegal.
I don't know that it is, but I agree that it feels that way. And they were basically like, it's a wreck over there. It's messy. It's a liability, blah, blah, blah. But all they did was send her this, I guess maybe it was in the mail, whatever it was. But they're like, by the way, we're dropping you. We saw that you were doing, it is crazy there. This violates whatever. We're dropping you.
Yeah, I'd like to say that is illegal in the same way that police officers can't just break into your house because it's called an illegal search.
Can't they?
No, they cannot. There has to be probable cause, whether someone's screaming, saying they need help.
Or a warrant.
They hear, or a warrant. They can't just like go in and do that. So I would say that sounds illegal to me. We're just going to fly a drone over.
That's the tricky thing is like, you can fly a drone over anywhere. I mean, that's actually probably not true, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if you just have a camera and you're flying it over, it could be anywhere. And I already have a problem with insurance in our country.
I know a bunch of insurances dropped out of California in general.
But you know what? I freaking hate the insurance scam.
Yeah.
But I will shout out Geico, who really took care of us in our car accident.
Yeah.
Really appreciated them. My frustration with insurance in general is like they're happy to take your money until you have a need from them. And then they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's not what you're
my
paying
problem.
for. I don't
Yeah.
count. That doesn't count. Whether it's health insurance, home insurance, car insurance, they're so happy to take your money and so nice until you're like, we need something from you. And they're like, good luck, hit the bricks. Not Geico, though. They were great.
Not Geico. Geico's great.
But I do think this is very troubling to think if people like, imagine if your health insurance had a 1984 style, I think on that it was like a silver screen that will like see or hear what you're doing. Imagine if your health insurance provider could see everything you ate and drank and every risk you took, and they'd be like, well, we're going to increase your premium because you had 5 drinks this month.
Yeah, that's not great.
You know, but that's like
I don't
where
like
we're
it.
headed. I don't like it
I
either.
hope not.
But anyway, that's what happened. There's been no resolution to this. This woman still has been dropped from her home insurance.
That really sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. It seems like you have a story. Do you want to get into your story?
Yeah, I do want to get into my story.
Okay.
I apologize in advance.
Oh, don't know what to make of that.
So,
let's hit it.
Listen, I'm going to read to you the headline that made me go look this story up, and then I'll read you the headline of that one and give you some factoids that are sprinkled throughout.
Oh my gosh, I have no
That
idea
article.
what this could be, but I'm so ready. I hope
So-
it's a story I picked.
Doctors warn against an influencer's dangerous trend of using fecal matter
Uh-oh.
as a facial treatment.
No! Can I say something?
Yeah.
I skipped over a few stories for the last few weeks of celebrities like Kim K doing
Sperm injections? Salmon sperm.
salmon sperm.
Yeah, that was another one.
facials
That's
or
what I was.
injections or
that,
something.
that was the other one that I was going to talk
I was
about.
like, ugh.
But I couldn't find much about it.
Yeah, I didn't
So-
even click on it because I didn't want to know. Okay, tell me about fecal matter,
So-
whatever.
And
Oh,
then
gosh.
then this is the headline of the next one. Influencer's poop face mask alarms doctors. People are getting too extreme on the internet.
Thank you.
So it's a Brazilian model, Deborah
Deborah, go
Pexoda.
ahead.
There's a thing above her E.
Deborah?
I don't know.
Like the judge from the Old Testament?
But basically people are giving her, like, are ripping her on the internet because she is using...
Did you say they're ripping her?
Yeah, like, have been ripped by medics. Like, they're giving her a hard time.
Is that a phrase? Is that Gen Z?
I don't know. But it involves caking her face in her own poop.
Her own?
Her own poop. She says, it's the craziest thing I've done in my life. She's 31
Yeah.
years old. She previously went viral for putting period blood on her skin to soften it.
Gosh.
And said she decided to try the fecal face mask after reading online that it could prevent aging.
My goodness.
She's a content creator. She has over 650,000 Instagram followers.
How many?
650,000.
It's a lot. Not a tremendous, like not the most ever,
Yeah,
but a
but
lot.
she basically puts her own fecal matter on her face. She applies it as if it's a mud mask, then continues to put like a clothespin or something on her nose so she doesn't have to smell it.
No kidding. That's disgusting.
I know. She leaves it on for about...
I bet she's sold her excrement, whether it's the period blood or fecal matter. I bet she's sold it. She seems like that type.
Yeah, I have no idea. But
Ugh.
she says you leave it on for several minutes before washing it off, and it's supposed to... She goes, it's worked for me, and my skin has stopped flaking. So she really believes this is a great thing.
Have doctors said anything?
Yeah, but this is the part that I wanted you to hear, just so
Okay.
everyone can know, and then I'll give you the part about the doctors. So she had said, it works for me, and my skin has stopped flaking. She said this, and she initially raised eyebrows last year when she married her much older cousin. Just shows you how great she is.
Why are we giving these people a platform? This lady,
I have no idea.
If this was just a normal person, I'd be like, I'm sorry, that person who puts period blood in poop on her face
I know.
and married her cousin, why are we listening to anything she says?
I don't think people are, but they are.
650,000 followers
probably
are.
because they were like, this is fake, and they probably went and saw her. But anyways, scientists have said scientists have said there's absolutely no scientific benefit to your skin in using feces as a face mask.
Duh.
And in fact, they contain a plethora of bacteria, viruses, and parasites, including E. coli, salmonella, and helminths, which can cause serious infections and diseases. Applying feces to your face can introduce these pathogens into your body through small cuts, abrasions, or mucous membranes, leading to severe skin infections or systemic illness. And which the doctor said, and has been urging people to not try this.
Yeah, duh. She's going to be the first person to have a ringworm on her face.
Yeah, my favorite thing is that a critic said, people are getting too extreme on the internet. This is worrisome. This is why aliens don't take us.
I don't know about that part, but yes, it's crazy. Or as Ryan would say, it's cocoa bananas.
Cocoa bananas! Anyway, that was the craziest story I read all week. I've been holding on to that for days.
Gosh.
So I could share it on the podcast.
Kel?
And it lost me. I literally bust out laughing when I was like, after marrying her older cousin, I was like, tracks. This all tracks.
All of it tracks.
And so I have jarred up my own fecal matter for us to try. I'm just kidding.
Gosh.
I have not done that.
It's in the brunch in a jar.
Gross.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for bringing in that disgusting story.
We needed some lightheartedness.
Yeah, thanks for taking Hardly Working to the next gross level.
Hey, I'm just bringing factoids, fecal matter masks.
bringing-
That's whack.
Bringing fecal facts to
Guess
this
so.
bad boy.
I almost made up a game that was
No.
like, based off that, which of these is real or fake? And like
Fecal
have some crazy-
facts or fecal craps?
Salmon sperm injections was going to be one of those. But you already
Hey,
knew about
we
that.
should talk about pillow face. Speaking of facial injections.
Yeah, Botox, don't do it. Or
Is it just
fillers?
Botox?
It's fillers. Any types of fillers, don't do it. It's going to give you pillow face.
Yeah, so have you ever seen people who you're like, that person who's beautiful no longer looks like their beautiful self.
They look like they are puffy.
They look... That's the only way I can describe it. And I don't want to give names because I don't want to be the person who like craps on other people. But you know what I'm talking about.
I can't think of anybody right now.
Filler apparently... I was listening to a doctor who said it loves water, so it absorbs water and it does not deteriorate, at least not very quickly. So it gives you what's called pillow face.
So don't do it. And if you have, sorry.
Don't do it. I do think in the next year we'll see a video on TikTok or something where they're like, here's what people who are using fillers have done to take out fillers. And then it'll be like...
Salmon sperm.
It'll be like... what was the drug, the prescription drug that everyone was using to lose weight?
Ozempic.
Yeah, it'll be like, they've got Ozempic filler face.
Oh my gosh.
They've got down comforter face. I don't know what it's going to be. Okay, well, let me get us out of that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You're the love of my life. And you always bring such good things.
I try.
Barf. Here's my next story.
Oh, you have another story.
I have so many stories. Because truth be told, if you've been listening for the
We
last
haven't done stories.
75 episodes, no, we've done stories. But as much as I like unpopular opinions, I really like stories. Because the world is such a weird place. It's a sad and horrific and terrifying place, but there's some parts of it that are just nutty. And that's the part in place I like to live in. So here's the next story.
Okay.
Illinois school worker sentenced to 9 years in prison for stealing $1.5 million worth of chicken wings.
Boneless or bone-in?
I'm going to go boneless.
There's chicken nuggets.
There's some themes on our show.
Yeah.
Boneless versus bone-in chicken wings.
Yeah. I know what we're doing for dinner.
Other stuff. We are not going.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We are not going to Buffalo Wild Wings Go.
Just
not a sponsor.
kidding.
We might be. Listen to this. It's not sad, but essentially this lady, Vera Lindell, who's 68, by the way, just trying to make a quick buck.
Was it an accident?
Wait, scratch that. Just trying to make a quick 1.5 million.
That's right.
It was not an accident. I read this entire article, and the weirdest thing is like, it doesn't say what Vera did with it, other than kept it.
Ate him.
Can you imagine How many years would it take to consume $1.5 million worth of chicken wings?
How many chicken wings is it?
It didn't say.
That would be...
Actually, I think it did. I think it was 11,000 cases. You come from the world of cases of chicken.
Yeah.
Can you imagine stacking 11,000 cases of chicken somewhere?
No.
What if I gave you a whole year to find a place for 11,000 cases?
I could do that.
Okay, I was going to go on and say, what if I gave you 2 years? Because
Yeah.
it happened over 2 years.
Oh.
You could find 11,000 cases worth of chicken space? Where? Where would you put it?
Well,
Where would you put it?
I was putting it in terms of like working at a restaurant and how many cases we would order and how many cases
How
we'd
many
go
cases
through.
would you order, I don't know, a day or a week? Just roughly.
God, I never did order placing. But
we called it truck.
I never did truck. But if I had to guess, a lot.
Well, that's
I think
a very
at any
definitive
given
number.
point in time, we probably, oh God, someone's going to be like, you wrong, girl. I did like distinctly remember
Probably
ordering
Mark.
like 40 cases of just regulars.
40 cases?
Of just regulars.
Look,
and in each of those, it's like 110 in each bag or something like that.
But I've seen the boxes,
There's
at least
6
fry
bags.
boxes.
It's not 110 each bag, but something crazy.
I've at least seen fry boxes.
Yeah, they're
And
not.
those are like 2 feet by 2 feet.
But they're not the size of fry boxes. They're like like a case of chicken. Like 3 of those could fit in one fry box. 3 cases of chicken could fit in one fry box.
Okay.
Because it's frozen and then they're in bricks.
Okay, I could see that.
So like think smaller than what you're thinking.
Still though, but when you think of $1.5 million worth of chicken wings, that's an astronomical amount of chicken.
We got a business. Let's sell them, boy.
And that's what I thought. I was like, tell me how she was selling
Side
it
of the
on
road
eBay.
business. No, she's eating them.
Nothing. It
She's
says
like-
she was accused of ordering more than 11,000 cases of chicken wings.
She ordered them?
Yes. So from the food provider. Sorry, let me go back here. This woman was responsible for ordering food for this school.
Oh. And then she kept them.
Yes. It says this lady, Vera, was working at Harvey School District when she placed orders for the chicken wings with a food provider from 2020 to 2022 and billed the district while she kept the food.
This went on for 2 years?
Yes.
And nobody noticed?
Because the school had a program where this is awesome. God love them. They were sending like packages of food home to kids.
I love that.
I love that. And
Everyone deserves to eat.
Yes. When you're like, we need the 10 commandments in school. It's like, no.
No, we just need food.
When people go, we need the 10 commandments, but we shouldn't give our kids breakfast and lunch. I'm like, you guys do not understand how life works.
Yeah.
So this school was still, even during the pandemic, sending food home.
I love that.
This woman was responsible for ordering all that
She was like,
food.
I'm just taking food home that I need.
But that's it. I don't know what else she did with it because it doesn't say.
Did she go to jail?
She did. I think she went to jail for I think she was sentenced to 9 years, which seems like a lot for chicken wings. Oh yeah, so they were sending meal kits home to students. Someone ran an audit, like a normal mid-year audit, and they found out that they were $300,000 over budget. So anyway, whoa. Vera, you were looking to get yours. I'm just saying.
I hope you get more wings in a couple of years, girl.
Hey, I just saw this on here. Were Julianne Hough and Ryan Seacrest dating? I'm looking at this article about chicken wings that says Julianne Hough explains the reasons behind her breakup with Ryan Seacrest.
Might have been a long time ago.
I can tell you the reason. You want to know?
Why?
Because Seacrest is married to the job, baby. I will tell you that.
Yeah,
Consummate professional.
She's not dating him, though.
No?
No. I have a friend that you have a friend.
We have a
that
friend.
knows Jules quite closely.
Oh, nickname basis?
And that's all I'll say. I don't feel like it's my place to share people's personal information.
I agree.
But I wonder if that was a long time ago.
Could be.
If it was current, that'd be interesting.
Well, let's get past some of the other stories, like the Jules Huff story.
Okay.
And let's polish off this episode with some unpapa pins.
Unpapa pins. Give me those unpapa pins, boy.
Unpopular opinions. This week, we're starting off with something different. Different?
Okay.
Nay. Yeah, it's different. Honorary doctorates are ridiculous and insulting. I could not agree more.
Why?
I think that is because, look, I understand that there's multiple different types of doctorates, but let's just talk about doctors. It takes so much time, effort, energy, money, heartbreak, surrender, joy, whatever, to become a doctor.
But this is not just talking about a doctor of science.
But if you get a doctorate, you are now Dr. So-and-so.
Yeah. Dr. Temperance Brennan.
Don't get me wrong. No, she's a doctor.
I know. I said Dr. Temperance Brennan.
Yes. And she fictitiously on Bones in the TV show worked hard to get there.
Yeah.
She's not an honorary doctorate.
No.
You know who's an honorary doctorate? Bill Cosby. Huh?
Interesting choice of people, but
No,
yes.
perfect choice of person to explain and put some evidence behind my thought that this is bogus.
Okay.
That's the only one I had because I'm doing this on the fly.
Yeah.
I think that if you work hard to get a doctorate, that's what you should get. But if you're an honorary doctorate receiver, it's BS. With that said, I would be happy to take an honorary doctorate.
I knew you were going to say that.
I would,
Because I was
100%.
going to say the same thing. I was like, I would take an honorary of that. Listen, I'm going to just push back a little bit here.
No.
As someone who didn't go to college,
What?
don't even, who valued working over going to school, because
Sure.
that made more sense to me, who put in many, many hours into learning and growing in the business that I was in for 10 years, became a master at my craft, and worked my way up to being an executive director of leadership and development, which covered marketing and training and developing of leaders. No, did I go to college? No. Did I feel like I was more advanced and farther along than most people that went to college and had degrees? Yes, I did, because I put effort in a different way.
You sure did.
And so if someone offered me a doctorate, an honorary doctorate degree, I would take it. And I would feel, depending on what it's for, I would feel like I earned it.
Mark my words.
But there's
I would
different-
feel
because
like I earned it.
Here's the deal. I think that there are some, like, I understand that people that go to school and they value school. I think that's amazing. You want to change the world in that way. But most people that come out of school are actually under-equipped for the world at hand because they've never had any actual experience. While those of us that didn't go to college, I'm not dumb. I think I'm pretty smart. And I think I've really, I own my own business. Why are you having that face? As if you're making fun of
Messing
me.
with you.
I own my
You
own
are
business.
smart. You are
I worked my way
accomplished.
up in like a pretty well-known company. I think that I have had to teach myself things on my own that school didn't teach me because I didn't
Sure.
go. And also,
Well,
I think school's a waste of time. That's a whole other story.
If
But-
I can prove your point, though, in like 2 seconds, I did go to college and do have a bachelor's degree in
Business management.
a Bachelor of Science in Business Management,
Mm-hmm.
and I took nothing from that I didn't already have.
Yeah, because you learned it outside of that. So I do think another doctor, honorary doctorate.
Doctor?
You're going to hate this one. Dr. Taylor Allison Swift.
Ew, what she's a doctor of?
She got a doctorate.
Of what?
For, I can't remember, but it has to do
Boy,
with,
this proves my point that
it has
it's
to do with
nonsense.
her lyricism and her ability to like write songs and do that stuff, which
She cured cancer with Shake It Off.
that's not what you get a doctorate for.
What do you get a
Not
doctorate
everyone gets a doctorate
for?
for to be an actual doctor. Some people can become doctors and other things. But hear me when I say this. And I'm just using to take like her. You don't like her out of it, but if you look at her lyricism and you look at her lyrics and stuff like that, the quality at which she writes and the words that she uses and the metaphors and things she does is probably on par with people that have gone to school for literature or for English and that can write that way. You don't have to like her as a person, but if you were to put them side by side, you could be like, yeah, I understand why they gave her an honorary doctorate in that.
You know what?
She has
To
freaking
be
college
fair,
courses about that.
When it comes to being a lyrical genius, to put a doctorate on Taylor, I get it.
Yeah.
Karma is a cat purring on my lap.
Oh my goodness.
I'm a
That's-
baby monster.
That's not what they're talking about.
No,
though.
wait, no. She's a
Not
lyrical
those ones.
genius.
Yes, she is a lyrical genius.
I'm a sexy baby.
Yeah, you are.
She encompasses a generation with,
You know, if
I cry a lot because it's my birthday.
if actual colleges
Kill me.
can approve people to be teachers and have courses that teach you about Taylor Swift's lyrics, then I think
That's nonsense. And I'd say you're better off not getting a degree.
oh my gosh, whatever. I'm just saying.
What would that help you with? What would taking a course
I
on
don't know.
Taylor Swift's lyrics help you with? Give me one practical example.
I am not here to answer that question. I'm just here to answer
You
the question.
brought her up!
Because you brought up Bill Cosby as your option.
As my example for why it is BS. What are you looking up? What are you looking up?
I'm looking up. Oprah Winfrey has an honorary
Look,
doctorate.
Oprah deserves it.
Aretha Franklin. Denzel Washington. Meryl Streep.
No.
Diddy.
No. Oh, Diddy?
J.K. Rowling.
No.
Kerry Washington.
I don't know who that is.
Michelle Obama.
Yes. Look, if you're the first lady.
Bill Gates.
Yeah, heck yeah, sure. Is it scrolling?
Kermit the Frog.
100%. Totally makes sense.
Joke. Stephen Colbert, Celine Dion, John Bon Jovi, Stevie Wonder, Ben Affleck.
These are all examples.
Ed Sheeran.
These are such great examples of why it's nonsense. Why does Ed Sheeran and Ben Affleck and Kermit the Frog have a doctorate?
For the record, honorary doctorates are purely titular degrees in that they confer no rights on the recipient and carry with them no formal academic qualification.
Yeah, look.
As such, it is always expected that such degrees be listed in one's curriculum vitae, CV, as an award and not in the education section. I've never heard that. I've always heard of what a CV is, but I never knew what it was.
Look, unless you're a doctor that's prescribing medicine, everything else is a weird doctorate.
It's nonsense. But anyways, I would take one. If anyone wants to give me an honorary doctorate, I would do it. Maybe one day.
I would too. Look,
Put it on my vision board.
I wouldn't say no. And you'd have to call me Dr. Babes for the rest of your life.
It'd be cool for me because I didn't go to school. And I looked into
Yeah,
it.
isn't that the epitome of what I'm saying? You didn't go to school at all.
But I learned so much and I've accomplished so much in my life.
Yeah, in the school of life, in hard knocks.
And business. Had to learn things of how to like talk to people and communicate with people that have degrees.
And that's what makes a doctorate, is learning how to talk to people.
I would take an honorary bachelor's degree. I'm not just saying a doctorate.
I bet you would.
I would take any honorary thing. And here's the deal. I looked into going back to school. And for $70,000 a year, I could have gotten my bachelor's degree. Do you not remember this?
I didn't think it was a year.
It was like $70,000 a year to do college at home.
For what?
Online.
For what?
At an expedited rate.
How stupid is education?
And I went, I don't need it that bad.
By the way, I said how stupid is education. What I meant is how stupid is the college system.
Yeah. And this was when I was like in my late 20s that I was like, well, maybe I do want to have a bachelor's degree.
Decades ago.
Well, no, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Like the amount of money it costs to get that, I would take an honorary because I'm not going to pay that much money just so I get a piece of paper that says I'm smart enough to do the things that I already do. What's the point?
I agree.
Anyways,
I think college is a scam.
Your mom is going to disagree with. No, maybe she'll agree with me.
I think college is a scam, except for the things that need it, like being an actual doctor.
For 100%. And can I say that I agree with that? But for most other things, most people that I knew got their bachelor's degree in communication. Communication. What is that?
I mean, look, I would get that.
Yeah, but how smart do you have to be to get your degree in communication?
I think if you get a degree in communication, you're really getting a degree in manipulation.
You think so?
Yeah, because communication is trying to figure out a way to effectively communicate your ideas and what you want to be done to a group of people who either don't have an opinion or have the opposing opinion.
Is that what they teach you, though, as you get your bachelor's degree in communication, or is it more like PR?
I've taken many communication classes in college.
You can imagine.
And most of it is the ability to give a presentation in front of the class, which I was talking to Corey about this week. Mm-hmm. He and I both agreed. We're like, anytime. So you didn't go to college, so you don't know about this.
I mean, I went to college for a couple of years, but I didn't graduate.
When you're in class and they give you an option to take an exam or give an oral presentation.
I do that every time.
Every time. And that's when I knew. That's when I switched my major from marketing to management, because I knew I could talk about just about anything in front of the class. But not just that. I knew that most other people really struggled. They hated to talk 100%. In front of people. And I can't get enough of it. So I switched to management, and it was great. What was the question? What were we talking about?
I would take an honorary doctorate degree if anyone wants to give it to me.
Okay, me too. Let me give you one more.
Does your mom have a doctorate degree?
My mom.
Is she Dr.
I
Susan
don't
Zuckerman?
know. I don't think so. She's nurse Susan Zuckerman.
Lawyer Susan Zuckerman? Teacher?
Susan Zuckerman, Esquire.
Is that what it is?
Esquire, attorney at law.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
She's very
Wow. I mean, I knew she was. I
She'll
didn't know
tell
that
me.
was the word.
We'll go over and she'll be like, I have to tell you something about your podcast.
And I'm curious what she's going to say about college, because it was really important for her that you and Meg went to college.
That is true. And both of her kids, 2 out of 2, have college degrees.
Yeah, not me, though. Not her, one that married into the family. I have no college degree.
And yet somehow she still loves you the same.
Yeah. It's mostly because Scooter loves me.
That's true.
That's not true. Your
Can
mom loves me.
Can I give you one more
And I love
before
her.
we go?
Yeah.
Last one. Your life outcomes are at least 50% luck.
Yeah, but what is luck?
Luck is preparation, is the intersection of preparation and opportunity.
Luck is where preparation and opportunity meet. Yes.
I actually firmly believe that, not as like a literal thing, but I do believe that as an ideal.
So sure, I can say that.
But I think it's more than that. Is it 50% or more of luck? Yes. So I won't get into this until another episode, but I took a deep dive into the tribe that lives on North Sentinel Island.
Oh my God, he's obsessed.
Don't even.
Don't go there.
I won't.
You will die.
I will at some point. Yeah, don't
No.
go. Don't literally go
what
there.
did we learn? Nothing can save you.
Nothing. We will talk about the tribe on North Sentinel Island later. But the reason I bring it up, this is one of the only still Stone Age civilizations in the entire world. They are Stone Aged.
And anybody that tries to go to the island gets murdered by
Gets
them.
unalive.
They die
Let me throw this out there.
with
though.
arrows. Okay,
2-foot arrows. Let me throw this out there.
poison.
First of all, it's remarkable that every civilization has come up with bow and arrows. Even these people.
Yeah, makes sense.
Here's what I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason that you and I needed to be born as Americans.
Thank goodness. Actually, I would have been okay living in the UK next
Same.
time.
But you just as easily could have been born on North Sentinel Island
Thank God.
in the Stone Age.
Still,
Even
I know.
though it's 2024, you
know.
could literally be living in the Stone Age had you just randomly been born there. And nothing, no Bible, no nothing talks about your predestination of where you could have, should have been born.
True.
You could have been born in America, in China, in Europe, in Africa, in the remote Indian island that is North Sentinel Island. So I think just the fact that any of us, anyone listening to this podcast has the luxury enough to have a smartphone, to have headphones to listen to this probably, to have internet connection, electricity. I do think that your life outcome is probably more than 50% fortune, or in this case, luck.
Probably true.
It's totally true.
Also, none of those people on North Sentinel Island
Listen to this podcast.
listen to this podcast or got COVID because no one went there. Thank God.
How weird is that? That on North Sentinel Island, they don't even know that COVID exists.
No, they're living their own life.
They don't know that
They're
COVID
just missing
happened.
the coconuts that don't grow on their land that used to be brought to them by that person that visited him for 27 years before they finally kind of accepted him.
Look, it's 24, and we're not talking about North Sentinel
Okay.
Island yet. Oh my gosh. Deep dive into it. It's so remarkably interesting to me.
Don't go near it.
But
It's actually illegal to go near it now. But
It
anyway.
is literally illegal to go within 5 miles of the island, according to the Indian government. That's a story for a different podcast. I will say this, though.
Yes.
You know me. Like, I really work hard to stay within my personal and professional philosophy and ideology, which is be kind,
Yeah.
because it's the right thing to do, and you never know who you're interacting with. Do your job with excellence, because that's the right thing to do. Have fun with whatever it is that you're doing, and care less about what other people think. With that said, I think about my career. This episode, we're talking about me being at the Honda Center. And ouch, that really hurt.
Yeah.
The Honda Center
That's
in
true.
front of over 10,000 people entertaining them.
Yeah.
Last week, I was at San Diego Comic-Con with
Yep.
hundreds of thousands of people entertaining and engaging with them.
That's true.
If I was born any other place, any other time period, even just a different time period, send me back 100 years ago, send me back 50 years ago, none of that happens.
Yeah.
I think that 50% or more of what we do is luck. Yes, I think that you need to be kind. You need to do what you do with excellence, all that kind of stuff. But the other circumstances, the vast majority of things that are so far out of your control, when you make a list of the things that you control versus what's out of your control, the list of things that are out of your control is so much longer.
That's true.
It's crazy.
That's true.
So I think at least 50% of your life circumstances is luck. And I'll say this too. Let's make it more personal, babe. Let's make it more personal.
Go for it.
The fact that you and I found each other is so astronomically crazy and low. The percentage is so low that you and I would be born in the same time, live in the same area. I had been married before. I could have never even met you. But the fact that my life turned out to have this huge blip that was so difficult, that led me away from that led me into new areas, that I got to meet you, that I got to meet your brother Ryan, who's Coco Bananas.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much luck is involved in all of this. Because you and I didn't plan to meet. None of that.
Have you ever heard the term soulmates?
I don't believe in the honeymoon phase. Soulmates? I don't believe in soulmates either.
I think I do.
You go back and forth on this. You think you believe in soulmates?
Yeah.
What's a soulmate to you?
You heard it. I don't know who said it.
Tell me, I'm curious.
But you said it to me. And then I heard it from somewhere else that I can't remember. Maybe it was Ram Dass. Who knows?
I think I know what you're talking about. I can shed
With
some
that,
light on
let's
this.
just say we live multiple lives.
Sure.
Born again. Who knows? Right? Soulmate is someone in your life that you were always supposed to love. It doesn't have to be the person you end up with. It could be a mom or a brother or a daughter or a son or whatever. They always show up in your life, maybe in different ways and different things, but they're your soulmates. But if I had to pick one, I would say you are my soulmate.
I know what you're talking about.
The person who understands my soul to the core.
I truly believe that's who we are to each other, because that's who you are to me.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is an example that Ram Dass talks about, where he's like, this isn't really how it is. This is just an example, where he's talking about burning off bad karma. Where it's like, you may have lived a life where you were an imperial king. I don't know why I said imperial. You were a king. And you did a bad job and things were so good. And you have all this karma to work through and burn off. So you go and you're like, this lifetime, I'm going to be a child in the poorest tribe in Africa.
No.
And all this stuff. And you go, who else needs to burn off this karma? And how can we do that? And he says, it's just an example. But he goes, in this lifetime, you're my mom. And in the next lifetime, I'll be your brother, or you'll be my whatever. And so I loved that idea that he talks about. It's not real. It's not a thing. But who knows what anything is.
No one knows anything.
But
not even, no.
I do love toying with that idea of we've done this over and over. And so many times we've met each other and found each other. All I know, though, is that in this lifetime, the only lifetime I know, I'm so grateful to have found you in my late 20s or whatever it was. And whether you were my mother, son, friend, whatever, I don't know. But all I know is right now, you're my best friend.
You're my best friend.
I think you're super great. And I'm crazy grateful to have you in my life. And I'd go through all of this nonsense that I've been through 100 times over if it meant that we could get together, have a silly little podcast that people listen to, in a TikTok that thousands of people subscribe to, because we have, I don't know, little pieces of nothingness to offer people. I'd do it again over and over 1,000 times if it meant that we could still hang out.
Love you.
I love you too. You ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, and we love you guys. And we hope you spend most of your time hardly working. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. Bye.